soothing tones, the opening music. Such soothing. I just
It's
forget
got a
every
little
time.
pensive note to it too, though. A little minor
Yeah, it's
key,
just like,
something going on there.
yeah, it's just a little, we never know what we're going to discuss on this show.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
always something. It's always something with us, isn't it?
we have to know what we're going to discuss on
Always
this show
bloody
because we got to
something.
know what we're going to watch.
Yeah, well, I gave a little bit of a clue last time, and if you weren't watching us last time, well, where have you been? But that's okay. We'll forgive you. We will forgive you. We'll let it
We're
go.
not forgiving you.
Welcome to
You're
us.
banned for good.
Oh God, don't say that. We just saw Wicked. We just saw Wicked for good. So thank you for the
That's what I was
segue.
doing last
Yeah,
time. If you didn't see us
look
last
at us.
time,
But we decided to check. We decided to check back into the
the
theatre
vault.
early and live because it's now officially silly season. It has begun. Hi, Joe. Nice,
Hi,
she's with
Joe.
us. That's normal. Yeah, so we thought we'd kick off Christmas with, I guess, a little bit of a crossing of the streams because we like to do some holiday themed stuff for December, and Katie McCarthy and I have some stuff planned for Uncensored Horror. But I was like, what can we do for Christmas that's kind of Christmas with a bit of an attitude? So I dobbed Vera in to do this one. She was like, yeah, sure, no worries. She's like, wait,
I
what?
had not watched this movie in like decades.
Well, that's good. It's a nice little refresh. But this movie kind of runs the gamut of a few genres. It's described, the official description is black comedy horror film. But I would throw Christmas in there too. It's definitely a Christmas movie.
Everything's Christmas. Christmas
Everything's Christmas,
music, Christmas gifts,
gifts,
snow,
all of it. Mm.
carolers.
The bar humbugness of some of it, but
Yes.
of course we're bearing the lead because this week we are talking about not even cult classic, I think cinema classic,
Yes.
1984's Gremlins.
Oh my God.
Cute, clever, mischievous, intelligent, and dangerous. Steven Spielberg. I mean, you couldn't half tell. Really.
I had forgotten Spielberg. I had forgotten.
Joe Dante, Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
This is a classic, 80s classic. Right? This is obviously culturally very important to some of us. One of my favorite, I watch this movie every Christmas. Every Christmas, this is in the rotation just for something a little bit different because we get bogged down in the hallmarkness of everything and all of those trite,
I do love the
contrary
hallmarkiness
things.
of everything.
But
This was fun.
sometimes you need a little bit of something different,
Yeah, this was
a
fun.
little bit of something fun and different. And you, Vera, as you said, haven't seen this movie in decades. Did you see this in theaters?
I did see it in theaters.
Oh, what was the
I
reaction to
did see it
Gremlins
in
in
theaters.
theaters?
Well, I used to hang with this group of guys
Oh, Vera.
that we would go to the movies on Monday night because it
Right.
was $2.
Yes.
So it was a $2 movie night, Monday night.
Right.
We got high in the car.
What a good movie to get high before,
I
too.
know, I was not prepared for this 30 years ago. And then I'd forgotten most of it. Even though I'd seen it occasionally throughout the years, I'd forgotten most of it until I sat down to watch it the other night. And I'm like, oh, I forgot that part.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot that part.
Oh, I forgot that part
I forgot
too.
that part.
Joe says, my girlfriend bought me a gremlin stuffed toy after I broke up with my ex to remind me that sweet turns into nasty.
That's great.
That is great. That's a very tried and true thing. I'm a child of the 80s, so this factors into the memories. This was released when I was 1. So I didn't see it in theaters, but it definitely was on TV, and it was on video, and
I was older.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was one of those movies that is in the zeitgeist of my childhood and has always been kind of in the background. I for a very long time had my own Gizmo, who was one of my prized possessions, but I gave him away to my friend's son when he became obsessed. Like, kids kind of find this movie.
Yeah.
They find it at like 5, 6, 7, like at that youngish age where it's kind of scary enough but appropriate enough for them to watch something like this. And I mean, if you ever wanted a marketing gimmick, look at Gizmo. He's the cutest thing in sliced bread.
Does have the Spielberg stamp. that little Muppet like cuteness.
How can we franchise this and make merchandise? Let's give it the cutest little thing in history. But yeah, he's been a friend for a long time. So this is definitely a childhood favorite that I definitely revisit. But we're all going to revisit it together because 1984 was a long time ago. And if you haven't seen Gremlins recently, it's good watching, as we were saying, for this time of year. But the film begins with a voiceover from struggling inventor Randy Peltzer in Chinatown. This read to me as like 60s or 70s, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, it's set in the 80s.
It was very like to like the 40s, to like those
it was
black
very
and white
that, wasn't
films.
it?
Very homage to that film noir genre.
But this is early Spielberg. He like loves to like play on those Americana images, and even throughout this movie there are so many references to pop culture and film and stuff like that you know if you know. So Randy is a struggling inventor, as we said. He's trying to flog off his latest invention, which is the bathroom buddy. How that would be easier is anyone's
total side note. It was funny to look at those 1984 futuristic inventions and think of them as like, oh, that looks like a Keurig. Oh.
Yeah. Well, not that far off, right?
You know?
He was kind of there. It's just the toothpaste mechanism that really let him down. So he's on one of his many travels to sell his goods and comes across a store in Chinatown, an antique store where he's bustled in off the street by the owner's grandson. Now, Randy thinks this is a great place to sell his wares, but he's distracted by a curious song. They do this right too, that you like they tease it out. They tease out the Mogwai. You're like, we're going to see what is making that noise. What is that sound? And I didn't know until today, actually. Mogwai is Cantonese for devil.
Oh, I did not know that either.
So there we go. And as we discussed, the Mogwai, known as Gizmo, is probably like, who wouldn't want to have that in their little house with little tiny hands? It's for eyes. So he's so cute. He's such a little ball of joy.
You do a little Gizmo impersonation.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of those coming up. But he does these little. I love it when he sings. He's so cute. Yes. But the owner, Mr. Wing, refuses to sell the Mogwai to Randall because with the Mogwai comes great responsibility. Like any superhero story, with great Mogwai comes great responsibility. But with the shop struggling and in need of money, Mr. Wing's grandson does the sneaky and hands Gizmo / Mogwai off to Randy with the warnings that he has to be kept away from the light, especially sunlight, which will kill him. Don't let him come in contact with water. And whatever you do, don't let him eat after midnight. Now we flash to the picturesque Americana town of Kingston Falls. This is prime Americana, right?
Yeah.
The snow and the streets where everyone, the bustling downtown streets where everyone knows everybody's names, and there's small mom and pop stores next to a Burger King. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is prime Spielberg romanticizing 60s America, 60s, 50s America, right? This is what it feels. It feels like a flashback, and we just see a little bit. We see a Pepsi sign. We see the Burger King on Main Street, which is really weird. I just,
as a child of the time, it happened.
Yeah,
I grew
but
up in the
it's
Rust
very
Belt.
much it's very much a picture of the time, isn't it?
It is.
That you could go into a main street of a small town these days and never find anyone. But even in the snow now, this place is bustling, full of people and characters. We got to talk about Mrs. Deagle.
Well, Mrs. Deagle opens the movie almost.
The archetype villain. I feel like she has borrowed a couple of pages out of Wizard of Oz. There.
Yes.
What is it with women of a certain age in small towns and dogs? They just do not like. They do not like. So we meet Billy Peltzer, Randy's son, and he works at the local bank. God, I remember when people used to work at the bank. Remember when there used to be people at the bank that you could go in and speak to? That was it.
There still is at a few of them.
Yeah, but not to the extent where there was like windows upon windows of people and people going in
and
to
the one big
do withdrawals
and snaked around the entire lobby so that
like beautiful old buildings with with the intricate woodwork and the marble floors and all that. It's bygone eras, I guess, romanticizing bygone eras, which we miss. We miss. Billy has a sidekick named Barney, his best friend and dog, who just happens to have broken Mrs. Deagle's snowman. Now,
from Bavaria.
She is playing
repeatedly.
Yeah. She is chewing that scenery, isn't she? She's chewing it up. She's just like, oh, I am ready for this role. Yeah, before the ATMs, when you actually had to go deal with people. And
drive-thrus when you could just. We love our drive-thrus here in the States.
I know. I have been to one with Jeffrey. They've still got the pneumatic tubes that go.
Yep.
Like,
over your head.
That's exciting. That's
when
exciting
you were 5,
times.
you would watch it.
Yeah. We got suckers from the bank lady. It was nice. It was good times. Small things for small minds, but it's okay. What? She's got some beef with this dog, though, doesn't she?
Oh, she hates the doggy.
She wants him. She's going to put him in the dryer.
That's what she said.
What? Who hurt this woman is what I want to know.
Obviously, a small dog.
Obviously, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. She's got some big issues. She wants the dog, and we've also, of course, met Phoebe Cates, who I miss Phoebe Cates. She should come back at some point. She's just got that.
I thought she did something recently. She left to raise children.
She did. She went away and married to a very wealthy person, so she doesn't have to work. So lucky her.
Kevin Kline.
But Kate is very all American as well. This is very retro. Even the courtship between them is very old school. Like, oh, do you think she might go on a date with me? It's very
on Thursday.
On Thursday, yeah. What do you do on Thursday? But Miss Barney, I think Barney can just smell the evil on Mrs. Deagle, and when she threatens Billy, he comes to his owner's defense and I guess attacks her. I
think he's just making good an escape.
Yeah, right. And she just happens to be in the way, and she was being a bit threatening.
Yeah. She's being evil, man.
She's a bitch. Mrs. Deagle's a bitch. No hiding
she's
it.
all full of hell.
Mm-hmm. She's not good. She's not a good person, but we see what happens to her later, and that's okay. But we are getting introduced to these small town character types.
Yeah.
She is very much the Scrooge slash evil witch from from Wizard of Oz that just riding around the streets causing drama to the poor and unfortunate souls of Kingston Falls. Poor girl. But Billy returns home, and I love what look most underrated character in this is Billy's mother. I think Billy's mother deserves more everything. She's the long suffering wife of the traveling salesman. I do love, as I was saying, the classic films that they sprinkle throughout as well.
Yeah.
Very archetype films that she's watching while she's cutting onions and crying. You know, expressing the housewives' lament, I guess. Oh no, it's just the movie. I'm not crying. The fact we have no money in my
It's just the onions.
I'm
not crying because my husband's a loser.
Right, and the egg cracking machine is great as well. That nothing works. Nothing Randy touches actually works or delivers any kind of goodness. But he does come home sporting a present, which is Gizmo, as he has now labeled the Mogwai, and he reads the Miranda rights to Billy about what and how. We do get some very cute bonding scenes. I just love that dog. Is a great actor. Barney the dog.
That dog was fabulous. That was pre CGI. Yeah. Nobody.
It was just the reactions they got out of him, and even with the puppet, like to get him to interact with the Gizmo puppet was really good because you could he was like, "What is this thing? I love it." And Gizmo woof woof, woof woof,
woof woof, woof woof, woof woof.
He's just so cute. We get bonding, we get singing, we get all the good stuff with him, and it's very sweet. He's a very Billy's a good kid, and he's a good animal for a good kid, and it's nice to see. It's good bonding stuff. But we do, because it's the 80s. Of course, we do get. I guess we would call it a cameo, or like a co-starring role from the Feldman. If it was the 80s, we gotta have a Feldman. We've got to have a Corey of some kind. And Corey Feldman is in this movie as Pete. He was a great actor as a kid.
He was a great actor.
He was so good. He's so good as the suffering son of the Christmas tree salesman. And his Christmas tree.
Who has to wear the Christmas tree outfit?
Yeah, it's great. There's so many little throwaway moments too that are just hilarious. Where him dragging the tree in as the tree. I was like, oh no, you poor little thing. But he meets Gizmo and accidentally spills water on him. No. Which then spawns 5 more Mogwai. More mischievous.
Poor little Gizmo screams and Gizmo.
He's heartbroken, and he's heartbroken too. He's like, oh, and you can he's got little wet eyes and a little wet nose, like he's been crying. He's like, oh no. It's like Gizmo knows what's coming.
Yep.
Oh no. Because we have had the throwaway threat of foreign cars and foreign technology introducing gremlins into the society from the neighbors. We always have a crackpot. There's always a crackpot somewhere. But this is the backstory of gremlins in real life as well. The British believe that the Germans were putting little creatures into their technology to. Strange things happen in wartime. Okay, it's okay. This is a true folklorish thing that they've adapted into this movie. The idea that there are mischievous creatures within electronics and mechanics that want to bring down civilization. And we'll find out why. Because, as we said, each of these gremlins seems to develop, Mogwai seems to develop a little bit differently than Gizmo, especially the mohawk wielding Spike. He's a little mischievous bugger. And even the expression on those puppets, they can blink, they can make expression. You can tell character type from the facial expressions that these puppets are using, and it's amazing. The way that they work their way around the technology of the time too, when the creatures have to be moved or are moving, and we don't see it on screen, or they're put into a bag. It's really thoughtful because, but I guess necessity breeds that kind of thing. When you can't see something running around, you have puppetry. The lost art, really, isn't it? It's a bit of a lost art, a dying art. Anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, not specialized. Puppets used to be a bit more everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, we used to have the Muppets used to be stars. They still are in my mind. They're still stars. Sesame Street,
Miss Piggy.
Look at me. Listen, frog. My favorite. What a
There was a Miss Piggy meme just last week when the president called the reporter Piggy.
Miss Piggy's getting her own movie, so let's just put that down. Well, speaking of Spielberg adjacent, we might have to cover that. We might have to cover that. Billy decides that his former elementary school science teacher will have some kind of information on this because it's small town America. So what do? You just go to the high school. High school teachers. Back when high school teachers had value behind their profession. Yeah, he's the closest thing to a scientist you know.
Right.
So he does his own experiments and creates his own Mogwai that he experiences on. And this is kind of where we veer from
cutesy
holiday film to dark foreboding invasion of the body snatchers.
Yes.
Moment, like literally, because it's on the TV. But the tonal shift in this movie is a big swing. And when we were talking about doing it, I was like, oh, it's horror adjacent. You're like, this movie isn't a horror movie. I'm like,
I've forgotten totally. I was like, it was so cute, little Gremlin. Come on, Gizmo. Everybody loved him. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Until night falls.
What's his name?
Until night falls, and then everything seems to happen. I guess this is a good cautionary tale for binge eating at night.
Well,
don't do it.
You do know that Spike set that all up, you know.
Well, yes, that's what I was saying. The Mogwai are not as pure as Gizmo because they tricked Billy into feeding them after midnight by sabotaging his bedside alarm clock.
They probably did it after they tied the dog up.
Right, yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. They're distracting him. Yeah. They have agency. They have
forethought,
malicious intent. Yes, malicious intent. Poor Barney gets strung up by the Christmas lights, and they take their chance to disable it and get fed some fried chicken, which I was like, ooh, that looks a little bit delicious. I would like some fried chicken. Yeah. I turn into a bit of a monster if you don't feed me as well, so I can relate. But at the same time, Dr. Hanson, or Mr. Hanson, Dr. Hanson's Mogwai, gets access to a sandwich left precariously. I love anytime they see food. Nom, noms. That's how I feel too. I like num nums too, so I'm down. Yeah. And after they ingest, there are eggs. We know from any cinema, if there is a green oozing egg, it's not a good time for humanity.
No.
Ask Sigourney Weaver. I mean, come on. Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis. It's not a good time for anyone involved if there's an oozing egg in the room. Especially don't put your face over it because there's like 7 movies where people do that, and it doesn't end up well for them. And a TV series now too.
Yeah.
So you think they would learn? That's the crossover we need. We need Ellen Ripley to visit Kingston Falls. She would have just torched those eggs. We've been all over. Probably blasted poor Gizmo out of the airlock as well. Enough of that kind of crossover. Once these eggs hatch, however, is when this movie turns into an out-and-out horror film. They are monstrous, murderous, mischievous gremlins.
Mischievous. They're like evil.
Yeah, malicious.
Yeah.
But they just do naughty things too. Some of when we get a little bit further through, they're just little shits. It's like they're just turds. Little turds that you want to murderous turds because
they killed
Dr.
the
Hanson
science
doesn't make it out. But my favorite part, I forget about it every time. One of my favorite parts is Mrs. Peltzer, Lynn, in the house alone when she hears the hatching of the eggs. That so well done. And to think this was one actress with not even real performers to and fro from.
Right.
She delivers, and it's daylight when that happens. In the beginning, like that is daylight, and when she's wandering upstairs and finds the open eggs, and then the music starts downstairs. It's classic slasher horror movie stuff. There is something. You are not alone in the house. You are not alone in the house. And the cat and mouse of her coming around the corner and seeing the gremlin, and then it almost seeing her was great. But this whole kitchen fight scene is weaponizing the KitchenAid is fantastic. She blends one of them, and then of course the infamous microwave scene. Where she has to microwave, and then she just goes bananas and stabs one to death. Get out of my kitchen! Yeah, it's very Anthony Perkins moment, isn't it?
Imitative psycho kind of slashing.
Yes, very Anthony Perkins. I enjoy it. But Stripe is still hanging around. I totally didn't see it until this last time when she goes into the sitting room and she backs up to the Christmas tree. You can see the red eyes glowing in the tree. I've never seen that before. That's what's a good thing about this show is rewatching classic movies. And it's just juxtaposed against all these beautiful twinkling Christmas lights and these two evil red gremlin eyes in the Christmas tree before it sweeps down and attacks her and kind of like really fucks her up, actually. Strangling her with... Meanwhile, Billy has found his science teacher and realizes that he's left his poor mother at home alone.
With the eggs.
So he goes to her rescue and gets that pesky sword and puts it to use by batting the gremlin into the fire. But Stripe is a survivor. He will not be taken down by a housewife and his son. And he makes a hasty escape into Kingston Falls, which is terrifying. They're out there now. They are out there and amongst it. Ooh. But where do you end up when you've got no place to go and you're short on your dough, Vera?
Back at the high school.
Back at the YMCA, actually.
YMCA, that's it, yes.
Back at the YMCA. Stripe finds his way there. Like, he's always looking for trouble. He's like, what's better than 5 gremlins? How about a couple of thousand? As he jumps into the YMCA pool and begins a spawning session. That bubbling pool and Billy just going, oh shit. Is that's the holy shit moment of it. And you're like, oh no, you better run because we see the gremlin. And look, charming effects for its time. Those little gremlins marching up the street going, we're coming.
Yeah.
thousands of gremlins taking over Kingston Falls. This is the hazard of the havoc of this is where it kind of really makes me happy. I think looking back on it, watching it this time, there is definitely some fat that could be trimmed from this movie, and most of it's the Randy out on the road scenes. I know that they're funny, but they don't really do anything to the plot. Like that's probably 10 minutes we could have back and cut it a little bit shorter and tighten up the film. But it is what it is. People weren't really sensitive about film times back in the day. They were just down for the ride. And
there wasn't a lot more to do.
Speaking of a ride, there is somebody who gets a very well-deserved ride as the Gremlins take the streets and come across the house of Mrs. Deagle.
Yes.
Iconic scene in this movie. Iconic scene in this movie. And she's a cat person, so that explains her hate for the dog, obviously.
A little.
A little. But the Gremlins, being Gremlins.
Mrs. Deagle sans wig.
Yes, Mrs. Deagle in her home where she thinks she's safe. But she still hates everything. She's just like, carolers. I hate carolers. And she goes out to they're funny little shits though. Yeah. They're like reading the words and
Dickensian little hats and their Dickensian little costumes.
Just so very cute, reading their Christmas carols and scaring the shit out of Mrs. Deagle, while somebody hot wires her chairlift to become a catapult. Mrs. Deagle launching out the top story of her house and across the street is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, actually. I was like, that's great. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person, really. Because no one believes anything's happening. The police certainly don't. They're telling Billy to stop until
Billy went to warn them. They couldn't be bothered.
All hell breaks loose. A snowplow goes through the neighbor's house. Mrs. Deagle gets ejected across the street. Santa gets what looks like mauled to death in front of them. It's very intense as as the Gremlins take out their rage on the Kingston Falls locals. But Billy remembers that his love, Kate, is working at the bar that is full of gremlins, breakdancing gremlins, smoking gremlins. This is the genius of these characters too. Yeah, this is the genius of these characters too, is that you can have so many archetypes or characterizations. One very violent gremlin who shoots another one in the head playing cards. I'm like, this is sometimes a kid's movie, sometimes it's not. That was pretty violent.
They did take a moment to do a little homage to the dogs playing poker picture.
Yeah, so many homages to movies, like Flashdance, all that kind of, all like the one in Leg Warmers. It's like, yeah. It's just so many very, very cute. Kate's under pressure until Billy comes to her rescue, like the hero that he is. They seek refuge at the bank. Now, Kate has expressed her distaste for Christmas, but this is where we get the iconic Christmas monologue. And it's horrible, but it is one of my favorite parts because it's just
you laugh at other people's misery.
So bleak. It's so bleak. In what was such a happy movie, we hear that Kate's father died trying to come down the chimney as Santa Claus, and they discovered him a couple of days later. If you haven't seen the sequel, they cheat out another one. She goes, and then President's Day, and they cut away. They know they created they created the theory well so that they could spoof it a little bit in the next one, but they didn't. Like, they cut her off in the next movie. If you haven't seen Gremlins 2, it's very much a sequel and parody of this movie, which is really fun to watch. But Kate's horrible. Like, this girl just does not have any luck on holidays, basically, as we find out as the franchise evolves. No joke. Yeah, but that's pretty that's her PTSD moment associating with Gremlins and all that stuff, you know. So Gizmo, Kate, and Billy leave. When they think it's safe, they leave, only to discover the Gremlins have all gathered because morning is approaching. Somewhere dark. The idea of the Gremlins watching Snow White is just, again, such a twist on Americana, and they are raptured. They're like, they're watching Snow White.
Well,
They
they're
love it.
chaos, total
Yeah, but
chaos,
they're chaos.
until all
But
of a
when
sudden, hi
the
ho,
uh,
huh?
uh,
Oh,
uh,
oh.
they're all just bobbing,
I know, right? Very
flipping
Muppet.
over. Yeah, so it's
Dee.
they are murderous, but they are very cute. I love the Gremlins trying to get the projector started spinning around and electrocuting each other, and just the glee that they cause, and the havoc they cause, and the glee that they get from it is a little bit endearing, even though they are horrible monsters. But this is Billy and Kate's moment to try and take out
Right, the world. They're
everyone,
gonna write it.
everyone,
They're gonna write
save the
Ron.
world. They cut the gas, but they get discovered as the Gremlins storm the screen and chase after them. But they don't win. The poor movie theater goes up in flames, killing all the Gremlins except for Spike. Stripe. Sorry, Spike's in
Right.
the next movie. Stripe. He's got 9 lives. This little bugger.
He
Do you
does.
think? I was always thinking. Do you think maybe it's because he was the first spawn off Gizmo that he's like the opposite of? That he's very intelligent, but he's very mischievous, and
Right.
you see it in the next movie. There's like the more they spawn, the dumber they get. It's just like there's literally one that has a face like this in the next movie, which is kind of problematic, but
Well,
very
now
cute,
it is.
very cute, very cute. But um, the idea of a small town department store is something that has gone by the wayside as well. I was like, this is very nostalgic when they go into the Montgomery Ward store and they've got all their little sections. And I was like,
Yep.
oh, before big box Target and all that kind of stuff came in. I remember going to the neighborhood store and going, oh,
Yes.
this is where we buy things. This is where, unless you go into the city and you go to a big
Well, just
department
a
store, you had,
department
yeah,
store was rare. You had one department store, and then
yeah,
you had
or you go
specialty
into,
shops. You had the
yeah, you
Robert
go
Hall's
into the city. You
clothes,
go into the city where they
Nolan
have a big proper
shoes.
department store.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoe
You know.
store,
Mhm.
pharmacist, furniture store, clothing store, toy
Right.
store. Like it wasn't all available
Home
under one
goods.
roof.
You
Yeah,
didn't just
hardware.
go get your toys in the same store that you got your sheets at.
No. Think of the past. I would love to see the Gremlins take over a Walmart. That'd be interesting. There's
It
so
would be
much,
interesting.
so much mayhem to cause in a Walmart or a Target for the Gremlins, right? They would
Right.
live. They would live. But Stripe's a violent little bugger. He
Oh
messes
yeah, he's
Billy up.
murderous. He
He
tried to
messes
kill
Billy up.
Mom.
Yeah. Tries to kill Gizmo
Yeah.
constantly. Gizmo.
Tried to kill Barney.
Yeah. But the shooting him with a crossbow, like throwing those blades at
Hmm.
his head, he's not messing around. But lucky for lucky for Gizmo, he has been living and taking in the cardinal sin of watching TV. Because he finally gets his broom broom moment.
Yes.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. He gets he hotwires that little Barbie car and comes in and saves the day. He's such a cutie. I can't deal with it.
Yep.
But as Kate finally restores power to the store, the fountain activates too. Stripe is headed that way, but Gizmo proves that he is a hero despite being the littlest manages to open the skylight, exposing Stripe to sunlight and killing him. Much deserved, too. I like that Gizmo gets his hero moment. He's that.
Yes.
He's a cutie. He's a
But
little
there
baby
is that
cutie,
little
but he.
room for Stripe to resurrect.
Well, we'll talk about the sequel in a minute. But the news reports the news reports are blaring out the weird happening in Kingston Falls, and Mr. Wing arrives at the Peltzers' home to reclaim Gizmo. He scolds the family for their negligence and criticizes Western society for its carelessness around nature. But the most the most upsetting thing for him was that he watched TV.
Yes.
Gizmo watched TV. The TV rotted poor little Gizmo's brain, and now he has to go back and undo all the carelessness. So as he's packed up, he has a parting message for Billy, and Billy says something really interesting to Mr. Wing. He's like, "You can understand." He goes, "To understand, all you have to do is listen," which is very, very, very accurate and topical. And we get a bye Billy. Oh, bye Billy.
Yeah.
Mr. Wing then concedes that Billy may be ready one day for the responsibility of Mugwai. And as Mr. Wing walks off into the frosted and recovering streets of Kingston
My
Falls,
favorite.
we get the warning that if you have an electrical glitch, if the lights go out, if something goes wrong in the home, check the closets, check under the bed, lock the doors, because there may be a gremlin in your house.
I thought you were going to say, "Bye, woof woof."
Bye, woof, woof, woof. He's such a cutie. It's just,
he is, yes,
just so. But that is it. Like it happens really quickly. There is a lot of content within the movie, but it is a lot of homage. It's a lot of like little we nudges to American culture and all that kind of stuff. And cinema and just Americana.
Yeah.
I love that Howie Mandel is the voice of Gizmo and he's still going strong, you know.
Yeah.
And for a little movie that was released in June when it originally came out, so nowhere near Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I remember wearing shorts to the theater and being cold, you know.
June 8, 1984. So there you go. Nowhere near Christmas.
I remember that it was summer, and that's why I had forgotten that it was a Christmas
movie. But $11 million box office, $11 million budget, $212.9 million box office. To say that it was a cultural phenomenon is a little bit of an understatement. They became
with the merchandising.
That's not even with the merchandise. And the long-standing, you know, footprint that it is made. It's up there along with those 80s classics like Ghostbusters and Indiana Jones, which there's some little nods to in there as well,
which I watched the night before Thanksgiving.
There you go. It's definitely worked its way in as a classic. So much so that, of course, with any good success comes a sequel. There is a sequel,
which
of
I
course.
Didn't see.
Yes. Gremlins 2, the new batch. It took until 1990 to make, though. Isn't that crazy? But I guess with such a practical
in that day and age.
Yeah, with such a practical effects movie as well, it's not really easy to turn it around like that either.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been gossip chat since the mid 2000s of a sequel. Zach Galligan is going to be part of it, so Billy will return in the sequel, which now actually has a date. It is going to be in theaters November 19th, 2027. So
Wow.
Gremlins will respawn. Gremlins will respawn.
Shooting yet?
Not yet. Nothing official has
Okay.
been confirmed by Warner, but they have a release date. So we might have to check back in. I wonder if it'll be a Christmas movie.
I wonder.
I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so.
Gremlins 2 a Christmas
The second
movie?
one was not a Christmas. I can't remember it happened at Christmas time, but I don't think it is as Christmas heavy as the other one, as this one, because it's. Mm-hmm. But there's been plenty of little moments that Gizmo has popped up. There's been Pepsi commercials and an animated prequel series that's on Netflix. So he is very much in the zeitgeist. People still know it. There was in an Australian theme park here called Movie World, there used to be a Gremlins attraction, which was really cool. You used to go in and sit in a theater and watch a little movie, kind of about it's old Hollywood thing, and then all of a sudden you start to see little shadows pop up behind the screen and stuff like that. And the Gremlins literally take over. Stuff starts flying at you from up the top of the theater. The screen starts to rip, and you get ushered out by the attendant, and you get into these little cars that take you through the back of the cinema lot. And it's just the Gremlins kind of acting up in a Hollywood setting. So they're doing all their stuff and spraying you with water and all the good stuff. And you make it out by the end, and Gizmo's waving at you and all the good stuff. And that ride sadly doesn't exist anymore. It was one of my favorite rides as a kid because I loved the movie so much, and it literally puts you into the movie. So it was just like, oh, very, very good. So, Vera, how many
Steven.
flying Mrs. Deagles out of 5 do you give Gremlins?
Well, since it's Mrs. Deagles, you can't do a half a Deagle.
No, it's not good for half a Deagle.
No. In spite of it being a low-key horror movie, and I don't have a big place in my heart for horror, I'm going to give it 5 Mrs. Deagles.
5? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It hit so many different notes. It was really enjoyable to refine this movie.
Yeah, it's a good little watch too. If you just sit back and go, oh, okay, it's nostalgic. It's not super high stakes. You don't have to invest a whole heap in it. You can just watch the miscellaneous mischief unfold.
I missed that was the why.
And then you're okay. You're like, at the end of it, everyone's a little bit wiser. It's Christmas. We're all good. I agree. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 though. I don't mind a half a Deagle. If anyone deserves to be chopped in half, it's half a Deagle. I just think there could be some tightening up, and it's the Randy Peltzer stuff.
That circular stair lift that she flew upon. That was a moment, It was really
great.
Cool.
It's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
I remember seeing that in the theaters and having almost a little motion sickness.
Whoa!
Hi!
Got injected. I wonder why.
Whoa!
But yeah, I just think it could be a little bit tighter, and it would be a perfect movie. But for nostalgia purposes, it's way up there. And I think if you want a holiday movie that's not too syrupy, this is it.
By the throwaway scenes with Mr. Peltzer, they did not
look. They're good for comedy, but I just think I noticed it was a little bit long. I was like,
the actor who played his dad was a good, solid American character actor.
Yeah.
You got to give him as much screen time as you can. Same with Mom. Mom is in almost everything in that time period, just not a featured role.
Not a featured role, and just a working actor.
Yeah,
a working actor. But as I said, we will be maybe checking back in with Gremlins very, very soon. See what Gizmo's been up to for all these decades. I wonder how.
Well, you gotta know that Gizmo has been alive forever, right?
Well, Gizmo, they can live for a couple of 100 years apparently, so he'd still be a
That's
baby.
how I remember.
He's a little baby. Although after the events of the second movie, he becomes a little bit more militant. He takes a bit of a Rambo situation in the second movie. He becomes very Gizmo grows up a little bit.
Personal now.
It does when they take over a skyscraper. That happens. But this has been our first foray into the goodness that is the holiday season. There's going to be a lot more holiday related content coming up. As I said before, Uncensored Horror is going to be taking a dip into the horrors of the holiday season. And Miss Katrina A. Johnson and I are going to sit down and discuss some other people's misfortunes at horror. And I'm sure at the horror of the holidays. And I'm sure we'll do a Christmas roundtable that we normally do just to talk about the frustrations of living through Christmas yet again. But thank you for joining me today, Vera, in the cinema. It's been a hot little moment, and we'll be back again at you sometime soon.
Oh, I should have sat in front of the Christmas tree.
You live, you learn. But
yeah,
the most important things we've learned this session: no bright lights. Don't get wet.
After midnight.
And don't feed us.
Don't get wet.
Bye. Bye.